What's up, guys? Welcome back to Healthy Recipe. We're going to be making today an Israeli couscous salad. Couscous is basically a type of really small pasta. Some people get it confused with a grain, but it's not really a grain. So for that reason, it will cook a lot faster than if we were cooking grains. And it's going to be really refreshing. We're going to be using some really nice, refreshing herbs and some fresh, colorful ingredients. So let's get right to work. Okay, so let's go over the ingredients that we're going to be working with today. There's a bit of ingredients here. You guys can simplify this and use less if you like. I just have all of these on hand, so I figured I would use them and show you guys what you can actually do with this salad. So basically I have some Israeli couscous here, and the difference between regular couscous and Israeli is that these are quite a bit bigger. Let me show you guys real quick. I got 1 cucumber, some great tomatoes, about 2 cups, a half of a red bell pepper, 1 bunch of curly parsley, 1 large jalapeno, and this is optional, of course. I have about 6 or 7 mint leaves. I have some thyme sprigs, about 6 of them. I have a half of a red onion. I'm going to be using a little bit of sesame oil, maybe about a teaspoon, just to add that toasted sesame flavor. If you guys don't have sesame oil, the salad will taste great without it, just fine. I just like that sesame oil finish. 3 cloves of garlic, and this is fermented garlic that I preserved myself. I'm going to be doing a video on this for you guys later on. I have half a lime, extra virgin olive oil, salt and pepper, red pepper flakes. Again, this is optional if you guys want heat. I have about 1.5 cups of organic corn and about 2 cups of broccoli flowerets. That's about it. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put our stove on high and we're gonna toast our couscous. No oil, just put the couscous like this, and you'll start getting an aroma when it's actually toasting, and then we'll add the water. And we got 2 cups of couscous here. We're gonna add equal amounts of water because I want this to be kind of dry, so it's not making my dressing running. Just gonna stir it a little bit, and then while that's going on, we're gonna go ahead and start chopping our vegetables and placing them in a bowl. Okay, so first thing, we're gonna go ahead and get rid of the stems on the parsley, and I'll use these for something else later, for like a paste or something like that. Put it through the food processor. Don't really waste anything. So we're just gonna get rid of those big stems. Then we're gonna dice this really fine. Okay, so once we got that stuff fine, chopped real fine, we're just gonna put it over in our big bowl. The rest of our ingredients. Okay, so now that our couscous is toasted, we're gonna go ahead and add 2 cups of water to those 2 cups of couscous and leave that to boil. Okay, basically with our thyme, what we do is we just take the little leaves off the stem like that. Some of the thinner pieces of stem are fine, they're not very fibrous, so you can just leave them in and chop them up. Mint, we're gonna do the same thing. Just mince it real fine so we get all that flavor spread through the entire salad. Our tomatoes, we're just gonna cut the ends, then cut them in half. Okay, so our broccoli, basically what we want to do is we want to snip off that piece of stem and want to break it into little flowerets, like bite-sized pieces, so it'll be spread out more throughout the salad. So you get a lot more broccoli flavor in each bite. So about pieces like that. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna blanch it for like 10 seconds in boiling water just to soften it up a little bit. And that's about it. It'll be ready. Okay, so in the same pot that I had the couscous in, I'm gonna drop the broccoli really quick, and I'm just gonna give it like 15 to 20 seconds just to soften up a little bit and it's gonna get darker green. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it in the container with the couscous, which is still warm, and we're gonna run them both under some cold water to make them cold for the salad. Just wanna bring out that dark green color on the broccoli, and then also just to soften it a little. Okay, so in a separate bowl I have the couscous here. It's basically done cooking, and it took about 7 minutes. Once it got to that boil, I shut off the heat and just let it finish. Every stove is going to be different, so you guys just test it. It's kind of like pasta, you know, when it's almost like soft but not too soft. It's ready, kind of al dente. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the broccoli in there, and I'm going to put some cold water in this. Okay, so the garlic, we want to make sure that we mince this really fine. If you got a microplaner, you could also use that instead, but we just want to make sure that it's really, really small so we don't get any big chunks of garlic. Okay, so we're going to chop our onion really small too. Okay, so I basically have one cucumber. That I peeled. I'm gonna cut it into quarters. Okay, now we got one jalapeno. Basically just gonna cut the end off. Cut it down the middle. Core out the seeds. And guys, word of advice, if you work with the inside of a jalapeno or any hot pepper like that, where the membranes are, make sure that when you're done, you wash your hands really well. Because if you touch your eyes, it's gonna really hurt, or your nose or anything, it's gonna burn like crazy. And cut them cross section to get as much jalapeno flavor spread throughout the entire salad as possible. So now that the broccoli and the couscous have been cooled, I ran some cold water through it and strained it. We're gonna mix it all together. I'm gonna add all of our vegetables in. Look at all that color. Okay, so now we're gonna add our spices and our wet ingredients and basically mix it all together, and we're done. And then we just give it a taste and then adjust. So basically I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of black pepper, about a half a tablespoon of salt. You could always add more salt after you taste it, but if you add too much, you can't take it back. A teaspoon of crushed red pepper, the juice from half of one big lime, and this is probably about as much juice as a regular size lime. About a quarter cup of olive oil, and about a tablespoon of sesame seed oil. Look at all this color. That's pure nutrition. Tons of macro and micronutrients. All of those small herbs that are really green are loaded with phytonutrients. And you see a lot of color in food, like natural foods, is because there's a lot of vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and give this a try. Get a little bit of everything. If you can see, we got a little bit of everything in that spoon. That's why I cut the veggies and everything so small, so we get everything combined. It's just like an explosion of flavor. So let's see how it came out. It is so incredibly delicious. Right away you can taste the parsley. It's the strongest flavor in there, but you also have the sesame oil, a little bit of nuttiness from that, and then the toasted couscous gives it another dimension of flavor. I highly recommend you guys give this a try. I'm sure your whole entire family is gonna love it.